So I will be presenting on child-centered play therapy, which abbreviated is CCPT. So going over the history of CCPT, CCPT was developed in the 1940s, which makes it one of the longest-standing mental health interventions used today. Based on Rogers' person-centered theory, Virginia Axline presented the first framework of CCPT by integrating the concept of person-centered therapy into a working approach for kids. Axline developed 8 basic principles to use as guidelines, which are shown on the slide. These principles include a caring relationship between therapist and client, acceptance of the child, creation of a free atmosphere, recognition and reflection of the child's feelings, respect for the child's ability to solve difficulties, allowance of the child's leadership in sessions, understanding of the gradual process of change, and provision of therapeutic boundaries when necessary. And in the years since the introduction of CCPT, 62 outcome studies have explored its effectiveness, presenting evidence that CCPT is a viable and effective intervention for children. Currently, CCPT is recognized as the most widely practiced approach to play therapy in the United States. So let's go into defining and further explaining CCPT. CCPT is a dynamic interpersonal relationship between a child and a counselor trained in play therapy who provides selected materials and facilitates the development of a safe relationship for the child to fully express and explore self through the child's natural medium of expression, which is play. And that's according to Blanco and Ray, 2011. The target population is children ages 3 to 10 who are experiencing social, emotional, behavioral, and relational problems. Its recommended intensity in a clinical setting is 45-minute weekly individual play sessions, and then in a school setting, it's 30-minute twice-weekly sessions. The recommended duration in a clinical setting is 16 to 20 weeks, and in a school setting, it's about 8 weeks. The resources needed, so it's recommended to have a playroom approximately 12 feet by 15 feet with shelves on 2 walls to provide space for toys and materials. And play is an essential part of communicative and emotional expression processes for children, so toys and materials for the playroom should be selected that facilitate a wide range of play activity, including toys from 3 broad toy categories, which are real-life toys, aggressive toys, and creative toys. So next we will go into considerations for play therapy in schools specifically. Although desirable, a fully equipped playroom is not essential to the effectiveness of play therapy experiences in schools. Play therapy sessions can be held in the corner of the social worker's office, in the corner of a classroom when vacated, or a storage room, as long as privacy and confidentiality are maintained. And then the toys and materials selected for play therapy are a significant therapeutic tool, as mentioned before. So taking into considerations that many school social workers may be required to work in a variety of settings requiring mobility, the following tote bag playroom items are recommended. So real-life toys, acting out or aggressive release toys, toys for creative expression and emotional release. The real-life toys may include dolls, bendable doll family, dollhouse furniture, medical kit, phone, puppets, cars, money, etc. Acting out or aggressive release toys could include toy soldiers, handcuffs, dart gun, aggressive hand puppet, rubber knife, anything like that. And then toys for creative expression and emotional release could include crayons, newspaper, blunt scissors, pipe cleaners, popsicle sticks, Play-Doh, Scotch tape, or anything along those lines. So, child-centered play therapy skills. The CCPT approach is thought to require the following therapist skills. So, nonverbal skills and verbal skills. Nonverbal skills means to physically show interest in the child throughout the session. These can include facial expressions, minimal encouragers, eye contact, and so on. We know a lot about these as social workers, so I won't go into too much detail. The verbal skills, they can be put into a list of categories, and the following are those skills. So, reflecting nonverbal play therapy, which can also be named as tracking. An example could be as a child picks up 2 horses and places them on a table, you'd say, "You decided to play with those." Reflecting content, for example, the child shares detailed information on dinosaurs and the therapist responds, "You know a lot about dinosaurs." Reflecting feeling, one example could be the child throws the elephant across the room while saying, "He stepped on everyone, I hate him." The therapist responds, "You are really angry with him." Facilitating decision-making, returning responsibility. For example, the child wants to paint a picture and asks, "What color should I use?" And the therapist responds, "And here you can decide." Facilitating creativity and spontaneity. For example, the child picks up craft sticks and asks, "What do I make with these?" The therapist says, "You can make whatever you want." Esteem building and encouraging. One example is the child has trouble opening the glue bottle and tries several different solutions. The therapist says, "You're trying a lot of ideas. You're not giving up." Facilitating relationship. For example, the child accidentally drops a cup of water on the floor and quickly looks up at the therapist but says nothing. The therapist responds, "You're wondering what I think about that," and then adds, "Sometimes accidents happen." And the last one is limit setting. The ACT model is a big part of this, which is acknowledging the feeling, communicate the limit, and target an alternative. In this model, the play therapist recognizes and addresses the child's feelings in the moment and says something like, "You're really proud of what you made." Then the therapist sets a short, concrete, definitive limit, but it's not for stapling to the wall. And then they may say, "You can staple it to the bulletin board or tape it to the wall." Sorry about my dogs. So this last slide just has a short session example. It's actually pretty long, but I was just going to show the first 3 minutes. And I thought that gives a few really good examples of the different skills the therapist can use and how maybe the kid uses the toys in play therapy. So if you could just watch that would be great. Just the first 3 minutes.
In this segment of a session with a young boy, you'll notice me using several play therapy-based techniques. In the first few minutes in particular, you'll notice me working to facilitate esteem and offer encouragement. And I do this to promote a felt sense of self-efficacy. And you'll notice that I acknowledge and reinforce the process or the effort rather than praising the product. Oh, you're thinking you might need some help getting that in there. It's gonna hold. Oh, you know where it goes. You got it in there. You didn't even need my help. Okay, and then help me. You need some help. Let's see. Okay, got that in there like that. You knew that that went in there.
I need help. This.
Okay, and you need help with something else. There's something else that you weren't sure about.
This help. This.
You need help with that part right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if we can get that. Kind of tricky. Focus.
Okay, I got it.
You got it. You smiled.
Help.
Okay. You've got something else in mind you want to do. Just checking it out.
This goes the other way.
Oh, you think it goes the other way. Okay. Pushing that like that. Bumps into it. Oh!
Let Mom do it.
Oh, you'd like for me to wear that. All right. Got it on now.
Help me.
Okay. All in there. It's hard to do. It's hard to get them to all go in there.
I did it.
You did it. It was hard, but it didn't stop you.
I did it.
You did it, and you're proud.
Then finally, we have my references. So let me know if you have any questions about those or about anything else on my presentation. Thanks for listening.